Worry is fear that hasn't grown up yet. It is a misuse of our imagination. We both devalue and insult the others when we worry about them. I love that. So I will be honest. I I was not the young adult, the kid that my parents wanted me to be, and they always talked about worry. Like that was always they're like, we worry about you, we worry about you, we worry about you. I just had a different way of looking at life than them. I still have a different way of looking in some ways, even as a middle-aged adult. But in looking at life than them, I was seeking different answers than they were as a young adult. And so they've used a lot of control with me. A lot of bullying, a lot of belittling, a lot of berating, and it all for them came under the guise of worry. So to say I worry about, this idea, yes, we want to have compassion for other people. Yes, we can say, I don't like what you're doing. We could also ask, why are you doing this? Why? Maybe even sometimes just asking why, and truly coming to it from a place of truly being curious as opposed to being aggressive or even passive aggressive, right? Which worry can create passive aggressiveness. So being willing to come forth from a place of true curiosity and say, why are we doing this? What answers are you seeking? Why is this your current chosen path? And maybe there are some guidelines that we could help give, or maybe there are, I personally like to think as a yogi, one of the great things yoga has helped me with is, it helps me definitely, what's the word? Show my daughter how to live better. So I am showing, demonstrating, right, how to live that good yogi life, how do I really try to stick to this principle of ahimsa or nonviolence? And it's hard because we're all human. We do not live in a perfect world, right? So we have moments. We all are going to have moments that aren't perfect or debatable. Which way should you go? Right. Which brings us to a whole nother part of yoga, but we're not going to talk about that one today. So another kind of quote I wanted to read from this book, The Yamas and Niyamas by Deborah Adele, is now she comes under Ahimsa again, that first Yama. She's talking about compassion. And so here's something I find beautiful and inspirational. We learn compassion as we dissolve our personal version of the world and grow gentle eyes that are not afraid to see reality as it is. We learn compassion as we stop living in our heads, where we can neatly arrange things and ground ourselves in our bodies, where things might not be so neat. We learn compassion as we stop trying to change ourselves and others and choose instead to soften the boundaries that keep us separated from what we don't understand. We learn compassion as we do simple acts of kindness and allow others' lives to be as important as our own. Right? That just so much there. All right, so we learn compassion as we dissolve our personal version of the world. And we learn compassion when we stop living in our heads. Anybody who's following American politics knows how extremely divided our world is right now. And, and just how angry people get, and why? Because people are in their head. In my head, I've created a bad version of the other, right? If I've created a bad version of the other, where is my capacity so that's violence, right? One, right there and there, that is violence. Two, where's my capacity for compassion for that world? That person, that other, if I've already decided they're bad, I'm not going to show them compassion, right? I am going to instead create violence. Even if it's just a little bit, I'm still creating violence. So that idea of getting out of our heads and actually talking to one another, actually listening to one another, just showing up and being and beginning to recognize the other's humanity. And that's hard. We definitely live, this form right now you're watching this online, right? You're getting one little tiny snippet of me in my world. So it's hard to, we got to get offline, get out of our heads, and actually get back out into our own bodies, which is one of the great things that, asana or yoga practice, or even any type of exercises. Taking a walk is great at getting you back out of your head and at least somewhat into our bodies, right? He says, we learn compassion as we stop trying to change ourselves and others. Again, so much here in America. We are taught from day one, every advertisement you've ever seen on the planet, or at least in America, I can talk, from my experience. We are a culture that has huge mega billion trillion dollar industries that are all based off changing who you are, right? You can change your mind. We talk about changing your ethos. We talk about changing your inspiration. We talk about changing your desires to want to do more. We talk about changing, your body, changing your looks, changing your house, changing your income, everything. And some of it's good, right? We all need to show up. We all need, I definitely have a belief in wanting to do better, to be a good society member, to be a good community member. So that's kind of what I'm always asking myself. How can I be a better mother? How can I be a better community member? But, I think she's asking here too, even the desire to change yourself, is that violence? Is that masking itself as violence? Under the guise of caring or wanting to do better? And I think that's a really nice, how can we simply accept ourselves for who we are right here and now? And be happy with yourself right here and now. I think there's a balance, how to find that balance, and we all got to try to strike that balance on our own, and it's hard. It's, there's probably no clear-cut answers, but, what are you feeling right now? Just even the idea of being happy with yourself, does that help stop violence? Or trying to change others, again, which comes back to that worry, right? If I'm trying to change you, I'm not truly honoring you, right? And so how do we, again, go back to honoring somebody else's path and staying true? Truthfulness, which is the second Ahimsa or Satya or Satya. But I'll talk about that another day. So anyway, again, I just wanted to mention this book. Just kind of wanted to give a little yogi tidbit of wisdom for the day. And that's all right. So I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye. Peace out.